Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another outstanding episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He's the Tranquil Dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, 592, living in the 718, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a man who graduated with the Nightmare Factory Class 3. And not only that, he actually made history because he is the first ever Canadian to be trained at the Nightmare Factory. And he had an impressive showing against Parker Lee at the Student Showcase 3. Everybody, welcome to the show, Rayden the Destroyer.
Whoa! Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem, man. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here, to shoot the breeze about wrestling and so on. Really and truly appreciate it. I gotta say, man, whoa, I saw that showcase and I was like, wow. Like when I saw you come through there, I was like, oh, Parker Lee might not make it out of this thing alive. Surprisingly, he did.
Yeah, thank you
but
very
I
much.
was like, surprisingly, he did. But I was like, I think the next time he may not be so lucky, man. He got lucky this time. The next time, if there's a sequel, he might not be so lucky. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a rematch down the road.
Yeah. So how's everything going for you these days? How's everything? You're in Georgia now, right?
No, I'm still up in Canada. After I graduated at the Nightmare Factory there, I went back up to Canada, up in British Columbia, and been here ever since. I wrestle for a company called RCW, Real Canadian Wrestling, out of Edmonton, Alberta.
Oh, I'm part of there.
Yeah, I've been wrestling with them. I took the last couple months off, but during the summer and I guess since July till October, I went and wrestled there every weekend.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I've lived in Canada for a year and a half.
Oh yeah, whereabouts?
People don't believe it. I lived in Toronto actually.
Oh, right on.
I lived in Scarborough.
Okay.
And when I went back for vacation 20-something years ago, I believe I stayed in a place called Ajax.
Okay.
It was Ajax or Pickering, one of the two that I stayed in. But really great times. Both times when I went there, I enjoyed it. A lot of people don't give Canada the credit it deserves. It is a wonderful place. It's clean. The nature reserves are on point.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The last time I went there, I went there. So I was just clear my throat. The last time I went there, I enjoyed it so much I didn't want to come back to America. I was like, man, can I just stay here and then, just not bother with America?
Yeah,
because I enjoyed it so much and it was peaceful and whatnot.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a different world for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. And hopefully I get the chance to go back there real soon. I know right now, I believe you guys are still under like strict restrictions.
Yeah, each province is a little bit different
in regards to COVID-19.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard that before I got out of the Navy, me and some naval base officers were talking. They were like, "Yeah, Canada is so strict that if you're trying to drive from here to Alaska, you can't stop in Canada. You gotta drive the whole 14, 20 hours till you get to Alaska. You cannot stop there.
Yeah,
that's how strict."
Yeah, I believe. I'm not sure. That makes sense for sure. I know at the beginning of COVID that was a pretty strict rule for sure. Now it's kind of each province has their own different rules, I guess. So where I'm at right now in BC, all the gyms have been closed for the last month, so that's been annoying, but it is what it is.
Oh wow. And British Columbia, that's the west side, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Or is it
West
east
Coast.
side?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's near like I take you're probably near like Vancouver.
yeah, near. I'm
And
about 3 hours out of Vancouver.
yeah, that's awesome, man. So you're from you're so BC is your hometown, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. So what was it like growing up as a wrestling fan in Canada? Like, did you like ever see any of the famous wrestlers like the Rougeaus, the Harts? I know Canada's a big country. Don't get me wrong. It's like kind of like America, but like it's above America, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's a huge country. But
yeah.
did you ever like happen to, by any chance, see any of the wrestlers that made Canada famous, like the Rougeaus or the Harts or the Vachons? Can't forget the Vachons.
Yeah. No, I haven't. So growing up, uh, I was watching wrestling near the tail end of the Attitude Era and then beginning of the Ruthless Aggression Era. So I didn't see much of the '80s guys. Um, but I have talked to Jacques Rougeau actually in April, I believe he's having it. His 2022 Wrestling Academy uh, show. So I am probably going to be on that with him, working with him. So that'll be exciting. Um, but back to your question, I didn't see much of them. Growing up, I saw like Jericho at a show in Edmonton, Chris Benoit, Christian, Edge, those guys.
Wow, that's cool. Wow, that's cool. I could imagine how it would be to train with Jacques Rougeau. Jacques Rougeau seems like he could be a bit intense,
Yeah,
and the way he projects his voice is like you're being yelled at by a drill sergeant.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No, I'm excited to meet him. I haven't met him in person. We've just talked over the phone, and then I'm going to be part of his competition thing in the spring. But before the Nightmare Factory, years ago, I actually trained with Lance Storm in Calgary. So yeah, he was another good, very good teacher, mentor.
wow. I can't speak for anybody else, but I've always regarded Lance Storm as the next person to go to after the Heart Dungeon closed down.
Yeah, no,
Which the
for
Heart
sure.
Dungeon, anybody that's I'm pretty sure that's if not, and I'm not trying to sound offensive, if not Canadian, but at least a wrestling fan knows the prestige that the Heart Dungeon carries with
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
I've seen the people that Lance Storm has churned out, and I'm like, he pretty much carried on the greatness of training Canada's best.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's a very good teacher.
Yeah. So tell us so you graduated with the Nightmare Factory Class 3. I've always enjoyed all of those. I've always enjoyed all of those shows. I haven't seen the latest one, but I've seen the part two, part three. I missed part one, but I didn't know of it because until the Diamond Sheik told us that they were having a showcase, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and watch and support. And then I saw that there was a part one, so I'm like, okay, well, after I'm done watching part two, I'll watch part one. And all of them so far have impressed me. Even I saw part of Showcase 4, which had your classmate, uh, Katie Hebner, who we just interviewed. And even that one was impressive. I was like, she was the smallest one in the fight, but she managed to make Reka Tahaka tap out.
Yeah.
And I know Reka Tahaka could be intense. And I was like, wow, like I couldn't believe it. So how did you end up getting into Nightmare Factory?
I had after I trained with Lance Storm there, um, I'd taken some time off for personal issues for a few years, and then decided I wanted to get back into it. And I was just sitting home one day, and I was like, well, everything here had locked down, so I had nothing to do. So I was like, well, it's now or never. So I signed up, went, dropped everything, moved down there, and then it was a new experience for sure. Moving to a whole new country, didn't know anybody there, um, so it was a learning experience for sure. But I had three roommates, really good guys. They kind of helped show me around everywhere and accustomed the foreign Canadian to the ways down there.
That's great that they actually helped you out and showed you where things were and so on and whatnot.
Yeah,
So so after I know that the Nightmare Factory they have it's 12 weeks, 3 months of intense training. And obviously you've seen some people start and not finish. They dropped out for various reasons and so on. But you stuck it through to the point where you finally graduated. The coaches, staff, Coach Cody, Coach Glacier, Coach QT, and the rest of the coaches gave you that handshake, that pat on the back, and said, "Congratulations, you are now officially a pro wrestler. You can officially take bookings all over the country, if not all over the world."
yeah.
What was going through your mind? Were you like, were you having like any like nerves, like, oh gosh, I hope I don't mess this up. I hope I'm able to, represent the Nightmare Factory to the best of my ability? Or were you like, you know what, I got this. Lance Storm trained me before this. I have a bit, I have that edge. I got this. Or was it a bit of both?
I'd say it's a bit of both. Coming in, I was quite nervous when we first started, especially meeting a whole bunch of new guys. A lot of them had trained previously, so I didn't want to be, the worst guy there or whatever. And luckily, all the guys in our group, it was pretty incredible. Out of 20 of us, we all became very close, pushed each other, helped boost everyone's confidence, so everyone got better throughout the whole camp. And and then by the end, when it came time to be done and kind of spread your wings and see if you could fly, um, there was a little bit of that pressure going to wrestle at indie places like, oh, he's from the Nightmare Factory. There's kind of that standard you're supposed to be, I guess. Um, but I think if you just go in humble and don't try and flaunt where you train and whatnot, then people kind of respect that more. And everywhere I've went, people have been very welcoming and open to help and add, give me advice and stuff like that. So I think all around it helped immensely.
Awesome. So since graduating, you had your match against Parker Lee. I hope you get that rematch because he actually, you know, and I was like, when I saw the end, I was like, he got the win with the Canadian Destroyer, and I was like, I'm like, if I were Rayden, I would have been pissed. I would have been like, nah, dude, next time you're gonna get this smoke.
Yeah.
And you had that match. That was a great match, by the way.
Thank you.
But since that match, where else have you gotten the chance to? Have you wrestled? Have you gotten to wrestle like up and down the East Coast or West Coast, or just like have you only gotten to wrestle in Georgia since graduating? I mean, you're in Canada now, but have you gotten to wrestle like, or have you only been wrestling in Georgia since you graduated?
No, I have only been in Canada wrestling since we graduated. Um, this weekend, actually, on Sunday, January 16th, I'm going down to Vegas to wrestle at a Versus Pro Wrestling. So that'll be good. That'll be my first real booking in the States. So I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully, it'll lead to more opportunities in the States because I want to go all over the world.
So, folks, for those of you listening at home right now, watching at home, this man is about to actually fight one of our other alumni guests that we've had on the show, Beast the Butcher. So we have a destroyer versus a butcher. I am sorry for that referee who's going to be in that match. You are in my prayers because these two, it's gonna be a classic, and it's not gonna be for the faint at heart. Like I'm glad I'm Rob. Be glad you're not refereeing that match, man. I don't know, man. I would have probably said like three Hail Marys and five Our Fathers for you, man. But
I'll stay small in the corner. You know what I mean? I'll just stay hidden in the corner, man. Stay out there, run. I'm good. Yeah, that's where they're going. I'm good.
yeah, but we've had Beast the Butcher on our show, and it's he's definitely a force. I'm actually jealous of the people in Vegas because I would love to see that because I've seen your dominance, I've seen his dominance, and that would be like bam, it's gonna be one of those matches, and
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
can't. You just gotta keep your eyes peeled and watching. I know you guys are gonna tear down the house. I just know it.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he's a big boy, another big guy, scary mask. So it'll just be a lot of destruction going on.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing though. If I were the tag team champions for there, I would be glad, and they're probably gonna beat me up because now they're like, Remy, why did you have to go and mention that? But I would be glad that you guys are fighting each other and not a tag team looking after the tag team titles, because then that's when stuff gets real.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe down the road, we'll see.
Yeah. So, in wrestling, who are some of your inspirations? Do you have any masked wrestlers? Because do you have any masked wrestlers that are like your inspiration when you're going out there and getting it done in the ring and so on, and prepping for your matches and whatnot?
Yeah, Kane for sure is. He's always been my favorite since I was a little kid. Um, so that's kind of he's pretty much my biggest, inspiration or who I admire when I'm going getting in the zone and who I kind of try to replicate, I guess, or get my move set kind of from and whatnot. Yeah, I just always thought he was very underrated for how good he was for such a big guy. And wrestling in a mask, he doesn't get credit enough for that because it's a lot harder than people realize.
Yeah, Kane is definitely one that he definitely deserves his flowers, and luckily he got them at the WWE Hall of Fame. And the thing about Kane is that Kane came in as the Undertaker's brother, and people may forget, but he had some comedy spots where he would like break character and get into, like, I think one time he imitated Val Venus, and there was another part where him and I think him and Rob Van Dam were doing an angle, and he was like, "Chicks dig the mask." That's what Kane told Rob Van Dam, and Kane is supposed to be like this big, monstrous, scary individual, and the fact that he could do that, but then not lose any speed, because a lot of times you've seen it in wrestling, Rob. I'm sure you've seen it. Once a big guy gets out of that scary facade, that scary, not facade, but that scary disposition that they're supposed to have, and they start doing the comedy stuff, it's kind of hard for them to go back to how they originally were, because the crowd is now like, I can't take this guy serious. He's doing this stuff and whatnot. But the fact that Kane was able to do that and then go back to the scary person he was, that's impressive, and definitely deserves his flowers for that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even the stuff he did with Danny Bryan and Team Hell No, right? They did comedy stuff all the time backstage, but then as soon as the bell rang, they got the job done. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. So I just got two more matches. I just got two more questions before I turn over to Rob. So you're facing Beast the Butcher soon, and once that match is done, who are the next five people? Who are some people on your top five? Whether they're from AEW, Impact, WWE, the Indies, etc. Who are who are your top five opponents that you'd like to face in the near future?
well, that's a tough question. There's a lot of guys. I know there's a few guys that I actually graduated with that I'd like to get in the ring with, like Brandon Gore. He was on Dark. Um, so was JDX, uh, Joey Silver. Those are three guys I really want to get in the ring with that I graduated with. Other guys that you see more on TV, I'd like to get in the ring with Wardlow, Dan Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, sorry. Um, Maybe Will Hobbs one day. That's probably, it's hard because there's a lot of guys I'd like to wrestle, but you feel.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I definitely hope you get a chance to wrestle all those guys, and I'll definitely be watching TV and be like, oh snap, he actually did it. He wanted to wrestle this guy. Now he's on the screen making it happen. And I
Yeah,
believe it's gonna happen. I mean, it's all possible.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
because AEW's the thing I like about AEW is, and I'm not saying this because you're a graduate of Nightmare Factory and Cody Rhodes was one of your trainers, but the thing I like about AEW is that they're showcasing a lot of people on the indies. Yes, they may not be signed you know, to a contract with AEW. You know what I mean? And I forgot what else I was gonna say. But the fact of the matter is that that's a morale raiser because now, you no longer have to be signed, or WB is not just the only place now where you can get some exposure. You got AEW, AEW. I mean, yeah, what I was gonna say is, yeah, sure that they're not signed to a contract and not an AEW dark, but they're actually getting exposure. Like people are seeing their hometown, their local favorites on TV, on national TV, getting that exposure,
Yeah, for sure.
and that's a big morale booster as well. So, yeah, I definitely believe it could happen for you. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So my last question is, and this is pretty much, I've never asked this one before to anybody. So you rest in a mask. If somebody came up to you and was like, "Hey, I want to wrestle in a mask," what advice would you give that person?
Um, Make sure it's breathable because it gets hot under this. I've had to add in like some vent holes here, stuff like that, just so I can get some not quite as warm underneath it. And flexible, like a flexible material is a lot better than, you don't want it to be like a solid hard mask that doesn't move or anything like that. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's a learning curve to get used to it because it's harder. Like it takes a toll on your cardio for sure. You get warm underneath this thing.
Awesome. So y'all heard, y'all just got some advice from a masked wrestler who's doing it right now. I'm pretty sure anything else, you're probably gonna have to send this man some money to this man's Cash App or PayPal, but you actually got some free advice from a little bit of free advice from a masked wrestler who's doing it right now. So if you wanna do it, if you want to do it all under a mask, there you go. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. Kind of Rob has some questions for you as well. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Rayden, man? How's everything going your way?
Good, good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. It's real cold, man. I think that Canada air has done swung down this way, man. Yeah, it's pretty cold, man. I heard it's gonna snow again, so I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, we're used to that up here, so it's just
Is,
another day
is
for
there
us.
snow on the ground where you're at right now?
Oh yeah, almost every day we get snow.
Mm. So I imagine up in Canada, man. So if you got keeping training, do you wrestle a bunch of polar bears up there, man? 'Cause you're a big dude, man. So I figure you got to keep your strength. You know what I mean? So I figure you're out there catching and running them, chasing them down, tearing them up, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
That's right. So yeah, like Remy was saying, man, you got a match this weekend, man, in Vegas against Beast the Butcher, man. Have you been to Vegas before, or is this your first time going to Vegas?
This is my first time wrestling there.
Okay, so you've been there before, like it's like the visit or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, just vacation.
Okay, okay, yeah, I was going to ask, yeah, because I play video games and like this Fallout New Vegas game. I heard it's just like what you see, man. You come in off the desert, you're driving in, and you just see the lights in the background. Just
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just
yeah.
yeah, I've always wanted to go there. I heard it's awesome, man. So I gotta ask, man, your mask, man. When I seen that, I thought that was like that's one of the most awesome things I ever seen, man. I was like, yo, if I ever see you going around, I know you drink from the skull of your enemies. You know what I mean? If you ever see you going around, man. So where
Yeah,
did you get the mask idea from, and like who made it or whatever, or did you make it yourself? You know what I mean? Like from the limbs of your destroyed opponents.
yeah. No, I uh, I actually saw a mask similar on Etsy. A guy made them, and they were like a hard material for like airsoft. And so I messaged him, told him I was a wrestler, and I liked the design of the mask, but I just needed in a different material. So he custom made it for me, and there we got it.
Oh man, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, and it was right off of Etsy too.
Yeah,
Man, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, you can get almost anything on there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I customized it a bit when I got it, and cut in the holes here and kind of adjust the straps and stuff like that. Because another thing with wrestling with the mask, because it was my first time doing it, every time I was done a match, I'd kind of take points on what I could adjust to the mask to make it easier. If it was moving around, maybe I need to tighten up certain straps or whatnot. And so it was kind of all a learning on the fly kind of thing. But I think I got it down now.
So you're good with the blind sides and all, because I know when you put putting on a mask, you get kind of like that tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Like yeah, you can't see, like that. So do you like kind of adjust that a little bit, make sure it's good?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it doesn't help that normally I wear glasses, so I can't see that great
Mm,
as is. But it's kind of even with bad eyesight, it's kind of hard to miss a body flying at you.
there you go. That's right. Yeah, yeah, man. When I train, I don't wear glasses, so I'm like, you know what I mean? If I can do this without training without glasses, I should be good to go when I can actually see. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
I should be good to go. So I was watching some of your like matches and clips of your matches, man. Your finishing move, is it called the dead zone?
No, it's called capital punishment.
Okay, because yeah, I seen it, the move or whatever. You like take them up, and you just power bomb, you
Yeah,
just slam them down like 2 or 3 times in a row. I'm just like, ooh, man, that's just, oh man, yeah.
yeah,
Where'd that come from, man? Like where you like, yeah, I gotta up Kane one. Kane's got choke slam. I gotta do something better.
yeah. Well, I've always been a fan of choke slams and power bombs, so I just kind of combined the two, put them together.
Oh, yeah. Because that move is nasty. I'm looking down, I'm like, ooh, oh man, yeah, just,
Thank you.
yeah. You definitely got to stay down for that 3 count on that one, man. I'd even stay down for a 5 count.
Thank you.
So you were saying earlier, man, you got the train with Lance Storm. How did that come about, and what was like some of the best advice he imparted on you, man? Because I know Lance Storm from like ECW days, and then when he came to WCW, and won like all the belts. It was like Ultimo Dragon and stuff, just tearing it up, man. So what was it like training under that guy under his tutelage, man?
It's good. He's a very he's a man of few words, but he gets his point across to you. And the training was good. There was a lot of days of just in ring stuff, and then we'd like watch it back the next day. He'd critique our matches and whatnot. Um, it was always good advice he was given for sure. I think the best thing I took away from it was selling, body language and stuff like that. Especially like at the time, I wasn't wearing a mask when I trained with him, but I didn't emote emotion very well in the ring, and so through him that helped set me up for later on down the road when I did eventually put on a mask.
Now, was your first match up there in Canada after you were training with Lance Storm?
Yeah, yeah, I did one in BC here in a city called Kelowna. That was my first one, and then I took some time off after that, and then I went to the Nightmare Factory.
Now, is that first match of yours available online, or is it like locked away in a vault somewhere, like in Fort Knox,
I,
never to
I've
see the
never been able.
light of day?
Yeah, I've never been able to find it, so I don't.
Mm.
I don't know if it exists. I hope not, because it's probably awful. But
Oh man, I feel you, man. I feel you. So then, yeah, you took a little bit of time off, man. Then you go from Lance Storm to learn with like Cody Rhodes, Glacier, and all those guys, man. Oh man, what was that transition like? Was it like, oh yeah, I got this? You know what I mean? I took what Coach Storm, says, I'm gonna apply it here, and like, damn, I got the goods.
yeah, it was incredible, really, because I mean, with so many different coaches, and they all are good in their own right. So they each had their own perspective and advice they would give. Glacier would say give you one piece of advice, and then Cody would give you something else, and then you can just there's so many different points you can take from everybody to make you that much better rather than just getting advice from one person, the same person every day. You know, one guy might give you advice because he saw it this way, but someone else, like if Cody was standing at the other side of the ring and saw it from a different angle, he might have something else to say. And so with that, it was just a never-ending learning experience.
Now, y'all at the Nightmare Factory, y'all had like world class weight room and trainers and stuff and nutritionists. Now, have you tried to keep up with the nutritionists and what you were doing there? Or is it like kind of hard, doing that from home? Keeping up with what you had at the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, no, I for the nutrition side, I still use we had an app that she gave us, and she gave us a meal like a straight up meal plan, and then an app if you wanted to adjust anything. So I still use that, and the weight training. I took a lot of stuff that we learned in the weight room there from we had a phenomenal weight training coach, and so I took some of the stuff I learned from that and implemented it into my own workouts. And so all of it's everything I've learned from being there, whether it was wrestling, nutrition, in the gym, it's all helped me since then.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. So, do you have another match lined up after this one in Vegas? Are you do you have anything the rest this month or next month?
Um, Not as of yet. I mean, I still have matches planned in Canada on almost every weekend. And
Mhm.
so, like this weekend, so Friday and Saturday, I have two matches in Canada here. And then Sunday, I fly to Vegas, wrestle there. And then I've got about a week off, and then I got another match here in Canada. So it's kind of usually almost every weekend I do have matches lined up in Canada here, but I'm trying to branch out more to get in the States more.
Now, what's the country you would love to wrestle in, man? Like, would you like to, say there like, England or Japan, South America or something like, hey, man, we like you to come out here, man, just, destroy it. We want Rayden the Destroyer out there tearing everything up, man. Well, what's like one of the top countries you would love to go to?
Japan for sure. I'd love to go to Japan. Um, that's definitely on the bucket list for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd definitely be awesome. I could see you in Japan, just just tearing it up, man. Oh,
Thank you.
so man, I gotta ask, when you're just hanging out or whatever, what are like some movies and TV shows you're into right now? Because I get caught in this thing where I get stuck watching the same stuff over and over again, and I'm always trying to branch out, and find new stuff to watch. So like what are you watching, now?
Um, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of the same. I stick to the same shows. Once I find a show I like, I just tend to watch it over and over. But um, Game of Thrones is probably my favorite. Vikings, I was a big fan of Vikings. I like that show a lot. Um, I'm currently watching Jack Ryan. It's a good
Okay.
show, and but honestly, 99% of the time, my TV is just turned on to The Office and playing all day. So pretty much it.
Now, have you seen the super fan episodes of The Office? Like on they have it on Peacock where they do like season two, three, or whatever, and like it's not like the normal 25-minute episodes. They're actually like 35, 40, where like scenes spliced in and stuff. Have you ever seen that yet?
Yeah, no. When I was in Georgia training, um, is when those kind of came out, and so one of my roommates, Nick, he him and I were big Office fans, so we sat down and watched them all. We for one month that we were rooming together. We roomed together for 3 months, but just for 1 month straight, we had it on, and we probably watched all seasons of The Office 3 times.
Oh yeah. I like The Office too, man. Creed, that's my guy, man. Favorite secondary character, whatever, man. You just see his you can see his mind state just go all the way down from like
Yeah,
season one all the way down to the end. It's like, oh Lord.
yeah, for sure.
So who's your favorite in The Office, man? Who's your favorite character or characters?
On The Office,
Yeah.
probably Dwight. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he was definitely. I think especially for the last 2 seasons, I think he carried the show. I think he's
hmm
the most entertaining guy by far. Him and Michael too,
hmm
obviously. But I admire Dwight for pretty much carrying the show after Michael had to leave.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't the same after that. The
No.
show definitely wasn't like the same. Oh, now have you watched Parks and Rec? Because I think it was pretty much by the same people,
Yeah, no, I
I
started Parks and
believe.
Recs. I haven't finished it, but yeah, no, I have started it.
Okay, yeah, because I was watching that and I'm like, oh man, look, man, home dude's Star Lord now in Marvel and stuff. I'm like, all right, that's
Yeah,
what's up, man. Yeah, here we
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Now Game of Thrones, man. I got into it like at the very tail end. Like I got into it like it took me a long time to start watching it. Like I got into like season 6, 7, and when I did, I loved it and all. But that last season, I guess whatever it was, 8, 7, 8, whatever, I was like, oh my lord, like, yeah. How did you feel about that final season, man? Were you like, do you wish they could do another one? Like, let's retcon this one and do something else.
yeah. So I kind of got into it the same way. I didn't start it till it was already 6 seasons in, and then a buddy of mine convinced me to start watching it, and then next thing you know, I finished all 6 seasons in like a month. And so when the final season did come out, I was fangirling out big time for it.
Mm,
But um, yeah, I mean, I kind of have that where I just love the show so much that I don't want I don't want to knock it, but
yeah.
I do feel like the last season could have ended a lot better for sure. I don't think they ended it the best way, but it is what it is.
Now, who was your favorite out of the Hound and the Mountain, man? My boy was the Hound. I love the Hound, man. He was my
Yeah,
guy.
that's hard because I liked them both for sure. I think
Yeah.
I like the Hound in general just because his acting, like his character, was more interesting. I liked the Mountain simply, like especially when he kind of got deformed there and was
hmm
always wearing his black suit there. I liked
Yeah.
him because he looked more badass.
hmm
But the Hound was definitely a better character for sure.
Yeah, because I remember before I started getting into it, watching it, I always hear people talk about the mountain, the mountain, the mountain, and all. And then I'm watching, I was like, well, they ever talk about the Hound? I like the Hound, man. The Hound's cool, man. I like this guy. This guy's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, because I had my brother, he was on me for like the longest time. He's like, man, it's everything you would like, man. It's got like magic, it's got swords, dragons, naked ladies. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I was like, all right, and I watched it, and it was like, oh yeah. Whatever I'm doing for the next 2 or 3 days, I might as well cancel it because I'm watching this.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, right now I'm watching all the Marvel stuff, waiting for all that stuff to come out. I need to catch Cobra Kai. I need to catch that new season. I haven't seen that yet. I
Yeah, no,
just finished Dexter.
I'm a big Marvel fan too. I haven't watched the many of the shows of them like Hawkeye or Loki, but movie wise, I followed all the movies and they were phenomenal, to say the least.
Oh yeah, so have you got to see the newest Spider-Man one yet?
Yeah, no, I went to that a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so seeing that one, are you getting pumped? What's the next one? Is it Doctor Strange next? I think.
I believe that's the next one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of pumped, ready for that, man. I'm like, yeah. I'm actually ready for a Blade movie. I'm gonna hear to see the Blade one. I'm kind of
yeah,
anxious for that one.
yeah, yeah.
That one in Black Panther, because I want to see what they do with Black Panther. If they're going to keep T'Challa, maybe just recast him with somebody else from a multiverse, maybe. I don't know. I kind of want to
Yeah,
see how that goes.
yeah. I think that's most of the intrigue of that movie is not even so much the movie itself, but just to see how they carry on now with it.
Mhm. Maybe get a universe where Killmonger, was a good guy or something, and he took over.
Yeah,
He was T'Challa, man. Because Michael B. Jordan was great in that movie, man. I was like, ooh, he's one of my favorite villains in the Marvel
yeah.
movies.
He did really well for sure.
That's right. So, what were your favorite Marvel movies? If you had like, just off the top of your head, you just like, you got to rank them. Just like, what were your favorites? 'Cause it's hard for me to rank like, oh, this is my favorite because every day is a different one could be, So,
Yeah. I was a big fan of all the Avenger ones for sure. I've always liked movies and shows where there's kind of that crossover of different characters coming to other people's movies. So to see all the stars of their own movies coming into one to team up was big. So the first Avengers was a big deal to me. Um, Iron Man 3, I was a fan of. Captain America Winter Soldier. Um, Endgame, obviously, is probably number one. And the new Spider Man probably pretty much up there too, just because after seeing, the, I guess, the long term storytelling
mhm.
that they did for 20 years pretty much to get to this point is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I like how their long-term storytelling is, man. I wish DC would have, did that instead of going right to the death of Superman in one movie and stuff, fighting,
I don't.
Batman versus Superman, then death of Superman. I was like, what? Oh man, you could have stretched it out.
Yeah, I don't know why DC can't seem to get it right with their movies, other than um, Christian Bale's Batman movies. That's the
Mhm.
only ones that I've really enjoyed from DC.
Yeah, now their animated movies are awesome. The DC ones, like I'll watch those on like the HBO app or whatever, and yeah,
Yeah,
those are real good.
yeah,
'Cause they had the old school like Batman animated series, all that stuff on there too, man. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that.
yeah, for sure.
So before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I do want to ask, being wrestling up there in Canada, man, do you have any, funny, traveling stories that might have happened to you, traveling show or something? Because I know up there in Canada, especially over where you live, I think there's a lot of Sasquatch sightings out there, man. So maybe have you ever come across one of them, had a Harry and the Hendersons, type deal or something?
Yeah, no, I haven't had any of those yet. I'm pretty lucky. Um, I mean, I've had a lot of long drives because the thing with Canada is like it's a big place, so everything's so spread out. So like
Mhm.
for me, wrestling, where I do or have where I was every weekend, um, I'd have to drive 10 hours there, wrestle, and then 10 hours back every weekend.
Mm.
So there's a lot of long drives just hanging out with myself, but it's not too bad. The thing about here is it's there's a lot of nice scenery to look at and stuff like that, so the drives aren't that bad.
Now, did you have to now that 10 hours, man? Did you have to pull over, take a nap or something? 'Cause I know I would have. Take like a power nap or something. Get my batteries recharged and then head on out.
No, I Monster Energy drinks. That's all I.
Mm.
That was my get through to for most of it. I mean, there was a few times I'd have to pull over and have a nap, but
Yeah.
I'd say only maybe 3 times that happened. But majority of the time it was straight through.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If I drink a Monster or a Red Bull or something, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm up. I'm up. Yeah, I ain't
Yeah,
going to sleep anytime soon. I'm good. It's like that old Dave Chappelle show where he was the crackhead dude. He's like, Red Bull, cocaine in a can. I'm like, oh, there you go, man. Yeah, 'cause I ain't going to sleep for a while, man.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, I do want to say, before I pass it to Remy, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, to come on the show. I wish you nothing but the positive things that happen to you, your family, and all that. I wish you nothing but the best in your career. I hope you get to all the countries you want to, start tearing it up, winning gold everywhere you go, man.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Rayden, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to, just talk to us about your career and whatnot. We really and truly appreciate it, and we wish you nothing but the best with your career. We hope to see you on a big screen, whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact. To me, you're already on the right foot because you're heading to Versus Pro Wrestling and facing off against one of our alumni guests, our other alumni guests, who's actually been on Impact in Beast the Butcher. So we hope that there's many more appearances where that came from, not just in Las Vegas, but all over the United States of America and Canada. And we hope you get to go to Japan. I could tell you firsthand, living in Japan for 3 years, when you get there, you will enjoy it.
Yeah, no,
Whenever you get, I don't know if you've been already, but if you haven't,
yeah, no.
definitely take it with a smile. Go. Make sure you get your Ribera jacket. I don't know if you've heard, but that's the I guess unofficial tradition of unofficial ritual of wrestlers going over there and dining there and getting a jacket. And Hulk Hogan's done it, John Cena, and many others have done it too. So I definitely hope you get to wrestle over there as well. And with that being said, we're about to shut down the show. But before we let you go and do that, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearances, when they want to purchase Rayden the Destroyer merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Um, my Instagram is I most used one. It's Rayden _ the Destroyer. And then Twitter, I'm still pretty new at Twitter, but I have an account made like last month. That's Rayden _ or no, I think it's just Rayden 26. And that's pretty much it. If you want to, I have a T-shirt there on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you want one of those, and yeah, you can always just send me a DM. Anyone wants to book me or whatever, and yeah.
Awesome. So y'all definitely make sure y'all follow this man, and also purchase some Rayden the Destroyer merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you can't make his shows, this is another way you can actually support indie wrestling is by purchasing the merchandise and whatnot. Because they don't just do this for themselves. They do it for the love of the game and for us the fans as well. So go ahead and cop some Rayden the Destroyer merchandise, and make sure you watch the student showcases from the Nightmare Factory. They're on YouTube, so they're free. All you got to do is just just sit down and watch them. I guarantee you will be impressed. You will see some OMG moments. I've seen several from the three I've watched. You will not be disappointed. You trust me. You could take my word for that. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut down the show. So Rob Bass, the Sean Spence to my Burton Guster, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, and the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and also where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Rob_Base82, and then Facebook, YouTube, Rob Base.
Awesome. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. You could find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue, and you can also find our podcast on social media as well. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We also have a Facebook group. Just type in Ringside Society, and it's us. We're on Spotify, and we are also on YouTube. Yes, we have many impressive interviews like this one, like the one with Katie Hebner. Sorry, clear my throat. Yeah, like the one with Katie Hebner, and also Diamond Sheik, the Bodyguard Austin Green, TSF, the Renegade Twins, Cat Spencer, many other impressive people you can find on our YouTube channel. And guess what? All you got to do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and when you see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So go ahead and subscribe to all of our videos because you won't want to miss it because we have a lot of impressive stuff coming for this season. Trust me, I'm not capping about that. But with that being said, oh, I always forget this part. We also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts. We have tank tops for the summer. We have hoodies for the cold winter. We also have long sleeve shirts, and we also have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So go over there, check out our merchandise, purchase some. All proceeds from those sales go back into keeping this show afloat. It does not go back into our pockets. I guarantee that. But with that being said, it's about time for us to go. And we just want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. We definitely and truly do. To those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on, thank you very much in advance. And to those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would just go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we here at Ringside Society are very well aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the first ever Canadian trained at the Nightmare Factory. Nightmare Factory Class 3 graduate Rayden The Destroyer.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back tomorrow with 2 more guests. That's why we have a double shot tomorrow. We have 15 minutes of fandom, and we have possibly a main guest. Possibly. Hasn't been confirmed yet. So until then, we just want you to do 4 things for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.